yourself for the next 60 minutes as I, Alan Maxwell, take you on a voyage into the pages of the Illuminati. Tonight's episode, He Who Evolved. In Pollard's house on that night that I try vainly to forget. Dr. John Pollard himself, Hugh Dutton, and I, Alan Maxwell, were the three. Pollard met us that night, a fate whose horror none could have dreamt. Dutton has since that night inhabited a state institution reserved for the insane, and I alone am left to tell what happened. It was on Pollard's invitation that Dutton and I went up to his isolated cottage. We three had been friends and roommates at MIT. Our friendship was perhaps a little unusual, for Pollard was a number of years older than Dutton and myself, and was different in temperament, being rather quieter by nature. He had followed an intensive course of biological studies, too, instead of the ordinary engineering courses which Dutton and I had taken. Dutton and I drove northward along the Hudson on that afternoon. We found ourselves reviewing what we knew of Pollard's career. We knew that he took his master's and doctor's degree and had heard of his work under Braun, the Vienna biologist whose theories had stirred up such turmoil. We had heard casually, too, that afterwards he had come back to plunge himself in private research at the country house beside the Hudson he had inherited. But since then, we had had no word from him, and we had been somewhat surprised to receive his emails inviting us to spend the weekend with him. It was drawing into early summer twilight when Dutton and I reached a small riverside village and were directed to Pollard's place a mile or so beyond. We found it easily enough, a splendid old peg-framed house that for 100-odd years had squatted on a low hill along the river. Its outbuildings were clustered around the big house like the chicks around some protecting hen.